Hi, I'm Hui Ying, tax consultant from L&Co. May I help you?
Hi, I have a question about budget 2020. I'm a businessman. May I know what are the impact for business?
Alright, from the budget announcement, there are some impact in corporate tax. First is tax saving for SME. SME will be taxed at 17% on the first 600,000 ringgit of chargeable income. The remaining will be taxed at 24%. Even though the tax rate for company remain unchanged, but company who above 500,000 to 600,000 of chargeable income, they can pay the lesser rate. This means a further tax saving of up to 7,000 ringgit for the company.
Aiyo, old people cannot remember so much. I need to write down.
Furthermore, there is tax deduction on cost of listing in Bursa Malaysia. It is to assist technology-based companies and SME raise additional capital through listing on the ACE market and LEAP market will be allowed a tax deduction of up to 1.5 million ringgit of their listing costs. Therefore, company will enjoy a benefit to a deduction that it reduces the company's overall tax burden.
Okay, noted. How about the capital allowance on small value asset?
There is increase in capital allowance on small value asset. SME and non-SME be able to claim capital allowance on small value asset value up to 2,000 ringgit. The maximum amount of capital allowance eligible to be fully claimed by non-SME increased to 20,000 ringgit. So, this is benefit impact to company because they can enjoy more small value asset to claim as a tax allowable as spend increase. Therefore, it reducing taxable profit and saving money.
Give me a movement. I need to write down the important point first.
Another impact is secretarial and tax fee deduction. Under the budget proposal, taxpayer may claim a combined maximum amount of 15,000 ringgit on secretarial fee and tax filing fee. This is simpler and more flexible because can combine both accounts into one ledger account.
Still got another impact.
Sorry, I have a meeting now. I pass to my colleague to answer the other impact.
They have four impacts, which are intra-good service, PTPTN payment deduction, double deduction for structured internship program, and tax deduction for sponsorship of local artists.
What is intra-group relief?
Currently, the service are not provided to third party, so service tax can be exempted for service within the group. In 2020, the service can be provided to third party. Within 12 months cannot exceed 5% of the value of the service provided by the company, and still not service tax is charged on service within the group.
How about PTPTN payment deduction?
If you have paid your employees PTPTN loan payable in 2019, are eligible for tax deduction. This has been extended to payments made in next 2 years until 2021.
What about double deduction for structured internship program?
Previous year, there has a double deduction for structured internship program. Now, this has been expanded in scope and extended for 2 years until 2021.
Have something talk about tax deduction for sponsorship of local artists in budget 2020.
Yes, the amount deductible for the sponsors has been increased 1 million from 700,000. Then, the deduction in respect of sponsorship of foreign artists remain at 300,000.
Oh, okay, thank you. I think information will be useful for my business.
The changes of individual tax in the budget 2020 is the fertilities treatments expenses can be included or claims under the tax relief for medical treatments of serious illness. The 6,000 tax relief for medical treatments of serious illness will be expanded to include the fertility treatment expenses in order to increase the fertility rates in Malaysia, and this also will help the married couples achieve their dreams of parents' hopes and increase the populations in views of the rapidly aging in Malaysia. According to the research, the Malaysia's fertility rates have dropped from 4.1 children per woman in the years of 1970s to 1.9 children per woman, which is below the replacement levels. Under the budget 2020, the government also increased the tax relief for child care and kindergarten expenses. The individual tax relief for fees paid will be increased from 1,000 to 2,000. This is to help to reduce the financial burdens of parents who have enrolled their children in registered kindergartens. This is to encourage the parents to focus or care about the children's educations. In general, it will improve the work environments of women and parents. Since the childcare needs more female teachers to teach the children, it will create job opportunities for the women and reduce the parents' financial burdens.
So now I'll be continuing the next points on the tax implications for individuals based on the budget announcement 2020.
Here's the points on the individual tax, which is changes on the individual tax rate, and the next point is on donation. Looking into the first point of the individual tax, which is the review of individual income tax rate. According to the Malaysian Budget 2020 announcement, the rate for personal income tax has been increased. Earlier, if we look, the tax rate was at 28%. However, with effect from year of assessment 2020, individuals who have chargeable income exceeding RM2 million will be taxed at 30%. Malaysia has a progressive income tax system whereby the tax rate increases as an individual's income increases. Furthermore, it has been stated that about 2,000 people fall into this category of taxpayers. So the new proposed income tax rates are as shown here. So further moving on to the next point, which is donation. So based on the budget announcement, a review of tax treatment on donation for charitable and sports activities and projects of national interest was made. It is proposed that the tax deduction of up to 10% of aggregate income is also given to taxpayers other than company on donation for charitable and sports activities and projects of national interest. Previously, the tax deduction was up to 7%, and now effective from year of assessment 2020, tax deduction has increased to 10%. Not only that, the tax deduction is also expanded to include contribution as follows. Here's a quick scenario to briefly illustrate how this works. Ali has an aggregate income of RM 60,000 and makes a donation of RM 5,000 to an approved institution in March 2020. Since this donation is limited to 10% of his aggregate income, he can claim RM 6,000 in tax deductions. Therefore, Ali's chargeable income after taking the tax deduction for his donation into account is RM 54,000. Hence, this is lowering the amount of tax he has to pay. In short, the approved cash donation has been standardized at 10% of aggregate income. This means individuals can donate up to 10% of their aggregate income and be eligible for a tax deduction.
So now let's look onto the impacts on the raise in tax and also donation for charitable and sports activities. So based on the budget announcement made on the review of individual income tax rate, the impacts of this announcement is that when these individuals with chargeable income more than RM2 million pay their tax at the rate of 30%, It actually helps the government to generate more revenue. This is because a 2% increase in the tax rate will bring in huge revenue to the government. Therefore, 2% increase will eventually benefit the government, in which they will have more money to run the country. In other words, the taxpayer pays a little more to help fund the public expenditure. Next, looking into the donation point for charitable and sports activities and projects of national interest actually encourage the people to donate. In a way, donating to a charity helps the society. An individual that donates for charitable and sports activities are entitled for tax deduction, in which it reduces the amount of tax that need to be paid. For instance, as we look into the current ongoing issue, recently Ministry of Finance or MOF announced that there will be tax deduction for donation and contribution made to the COVID-19 fund. So this is to encourage or welcome the generosity of the Malaysians in both individuals or corporate sector in donating and contributing towards this pandemic outbreak.
Hello, boy mommy
Mommy, why you call me?
No lah, mommy miss you ma. Long time no see you already. Eat dinner already or not?
Eat already. Got anything just say lah.
Mommy got something to ask you.
What thing?
About the budget 2020 lah. I want to know the new budget 2020 got any impact on taxpayer in general or not? Since you work as tax consultant now. So mommy ask you lor. Later mommy don't want anything kena penalty oh.
Aiyo, mommy, I'm busy leh. Never mind lah. I will tell you while I'm doing my work lah. You go take paper and pen to write down what I say lah. If not, you cannot remember.
Okay, I got paper and pen already. You say lah, mommy write down.
There is good news on penalty for late payment for tax lah. For the penalty previously if late payment for the first 60 days is 10%, after 60 days is 5%. But now, the budget 2020 has been reviewed. It is now just 10% and no more 5% after 60 days. This is equitable and most welcome because that was another penalty on top of a penalty.
Oh, so good Got some more
Now, the taxpayers of right appeal also got changes already. Last time, if a taxpayer aggrieved by a tax assessment must lodge an appeal within 30 days of the service of the notice. Currently, where a taxpayer is late in appealing, he or her has to apply to the Director General of Inland Revenue for an extension of time to file his appeal. If the Director General of Inland Revenue is not inclined to grant the extension, he will forward the case to the Special Commissioner of Income Tax for consideration. The Special Commissioner of Income Tax decision is final and there will be no further appeal. Now different already. The law will be amended to allow taxpayers 7 years to ask the Director General of Inland Revenue for an extension of time to appeal. This exercise will no longer involve the Special Commissioner of Income Tax. The amendment as drafted does not indicate whether the extension will likely be granted if the application is made within 7 years.
Wow, 7 years not bad.
Mommy still got about double tax cases. Last time, if certain income has been taxed in Malaysia and again in another country with which Malaysia has entered into a double taxation treaty, there is an avenue for resolution of disputes between the tax authorities of both countries as to how each country should tax the said income. This is called the Mutual Agreement of Procedure. Now, there is a proposed amendment to allow the Director General of Inland Revenue to raise an additional assessment at any time. in consequences of a mutual agreement procedure. This runs contrary to the statutory time bar of 5 years for normal cases.
Any time means what?
They say at any time didn't mean that really at any time lah. They impossible will contact you in the middle of the night ma. Just means that they will raise an additional assessment if they need lah.
Oh, still good or not?
God, for those in tourism-related businesses, there are a few measurements to boost Visit Malaysia year 2020. For tourism vehicles, it is accelerated capital allowance is given to claim the qualifying capital expenditure in 2 years of assessment and exemption from excise duty. Businesses are encouraged to host and organize conferences in Malaysia between 2020 and 2025. If they bring in at least 500 foreign participants in a year, they will be given a tax exemption of 100% of their statutory income. For those companies that organize art and cultural activities, international sports and recreational competitions to attract foreign tourists will get a tax exemption of 50% of their statutory income. This is available during year of assessment 2020 and 2022. Last but not least, entertainment duty of 5% is exempted for admission tickets for stage performances in Kuala Lumpur during Visit Malaysia year 2020.
Only in Kuala Lumpur? Other state does not have 5% entertainment duty for the admission ticket for stage performance, meh?
Don't have maybe it's because Kuala Lumpur is capital of Malaysia lor.
Oh, yeah lor, maybe lor.
Aiyo, I talk so much, you can catch up or not? You know what I'm talking or not?
Cannot lah, you talk too many and so fast, I cannot follow leh.
Never mind, mommy. I send you the link. You go read and understand it. If you don't understand, then only ask me lah.
Okay. Thanks, Aboy. You continue do your work lah. Mommy don't want to disturb you already. Don't do until too late, Sleep early and take good care of yourself.
Yeah lah, I know lah. You also go sleep early lah. This weekend I only go back and find you. Good night.